If President Obama's policy is based on placating the Muslim states, what will you do in Congress to change the administration's attitude? It's your turn first.
Well, first of all, I want to say that the Obama administration, which has been under incredible attack for not being sufficiently supportive of Israel, I would have to disagree with that. I think that the...
Please.
So I don't accept the premise at all. But let me say this. The president had a rather large meeting with the Jewish members. And there were some suggestions to the president, not so much on substance, but sometimes on style. And I have to reveal that within that meeting, there was some concern that disagreeing with our allies, that there are ways to do it, and there are better ways to do it. And the members of the Jewish delegation talked to him about that, and he appreciated our input. But when you talk about the kind of assistance that the administration has provided, this is a president who has talked about the Jewish state of Israel more than any other president has done. This is a president who has spent more time earlier on in order to address the issues and the challenges that are facing Israel, and to try and work to assist Israel to reach a peaceful place in the world. So this is a president who we can go down the line with solid examples of how every day he has dealt with this issue more than any other foreign policy issue that has been on the table. And so I just want to say that I believe the words of the Israeli leaders. I believe the words of our administration, including the president, that this is a close relationship and that this president is working hard on behalf of our most precious ally, Israel.
I don't believe there can be any doubt that President Obama has bent over backwards to placate not the Islamic world, but the regimes that govern it. And I think that President Obama's bow to the Saudi king was, for me at least, hurtful as an American. He is a democratically elected leader, and I didn't vote for him, but he's my president, and I do not want to see the democratic leader of our country bow to any monarch anywhere in the world. I also think that giving a speech in Cairo to the Muslim world and not traveling to Israel to give a speech to Israelis to lay on the table how he felt about the issue, whether it was for or against the current Israeli government, was a mistake. And in fact, I was graduating from law school that day, and I have a lot of friends from Israel who have much more left-wing opinions than I do, but they were shocked by that speech. We gathered at Harvard Yard that day, and they said to me, they couldn't believe Obama had done that he didn't understand Iran, and that he was wrong to tell the Arab world the only reason Israel exists is because of the Holocaust. That they understand. These Israelis who struggle for civil rights, who stand up for Bedouin Arabs, who do all these things for the cause of justice in Israel as they see it, couldn't understand why President Obama was reinforcing the worst narratives of the Arab and Islamic world that delegitimize Israel. I think it's very simple. I think Congress has to speak out on behalf of the victims of human rights in the Arab and Islamic world, whether it's Iran, whether it's in American allies like Egypt, or whether it's in traditional NATO allies like Turkey, where we're seeing a disturbing trend in that country's government. You know, the other thing is just speaking truth to the world and not apologizing for American values and American achievements. I spoke to a mosque on Friday after prayers, and I was very clear in my speech to that mosque about my support for Israel and my opposition to the Ground Zero Mosque. The people were very respectful. I'm sure many people didn't agree. But people respect America's leaders when they tell the truth about America's values and our interests to the Islamic world. They respect strength and conviction, and we ought to elect leaders that do the same.